Hello guys, you are welcome to an exciting video. We want to talk about vector calculation, and I believe you have watched the part 1 and part 2 of A-level vectors analysis, and I want you to listen. We want to take the first question here. You said what? Three forces that act on a particle are given by F1. F1 is equals to what? 20I plus what? Okay, minus 36J plus 73K, and F2 is equals to what? Minus 17I, then plus 21J minus 46K. Now F3 is equal to what? F3 equal to what? Minus 12K. Let me put it under this 12K. Now what did they say we should find? That means this one is 0I, 0J. That's what it means. Now says calculate the magnitude of the resultant in two significant figures. We have option A, we have 21 meter, B, 21 Newton, B, because they are forces, they are all measured in Newton. They are forces, they don't forget. They are all measured in Newton. A says what? 21 what? 21 Newton, B says 2.1 Newton, C says 1.2 Newton, and D says 12 Newton, and E says none of the above. Now let us see how we can solve it, and let's take the magnitude. Now to find the resultant according to the question, the magnitude of the resultant, first of all let us find the resultant. For us to find the resultant, we have to do what they call addition. So 20I plus minus 17I plus 0 will give us 3I, then minus 36J plus 21J plus 0, the rest of calculator, you are going to have minus what? 15J. Then lastly, 73 plus 73 minus 46 will give us 27 minus 12 should give us what? 15 plus 15. Now what they say, this is the resultant now. So R. Then the magnitude should give us what? Magnitude is equal to what? 3 squared plus minus 15 squared plus 15 squared. And that will give us what? 9 plus 225 plus 225. 225 plus 225 will be 454, 59. And square root of 459 should give us what? 9 point what? Square root of 459 should give us 9 point, press your calculator for me. Okay, 21 Newton. That's what we are going to have. Is that clear? Okay, let's go to number 2 question now. Number 2 says what? Determine the magnitude of resultant of two displacement. When you talk about resultant, it's talking about addition of two vectors. It says determine the resultant of the displacement A and B, where A, they gave us A as well. What is A here? Is 6I minus 4 K. Then in meter, then our B is what? Is 3I plus 12J plus K. Are we? Our C is what? What is our C there? Our C is what? Okay, we are not given C. So what they say we should find? They determine the magnitude of the resultant of the displacement A and B, where A is this and B is this. A is what? 9.4 meter, B 9.5 meter, C 9.6 meter, D 9.7 meter, E none of the above. Now let's solve this question quickly. Resultant is equal to addition of the two vector, the vector A, vector B. Now when you take addition of the two of them, 6 plus 3 will give us 9. Okay, minus 4J will be added to minus 4K will be added to K. Now, but what is K, J here in this A? Is 0. So 0 plus 2J will give us what? 0J plus 2J will give us what? 2J plus what? Then minus 4 K plus K will give us what? Minus 3K. Excellent. Now, having done that now, they say this is the resultant normally. But in the question, they say we should find what? The magnitude of the resultant. The magnitude of the resultant. So what I'm going to do now is what? Find the what? The absolute. This is the resultant. The absolute now will now be what? 9 square plus 2 square plus what? Minus 3 square. So that will give us what? This is 81 plus 4 plus 9. So 81 plus 4 is what? 85 plus 9 is what? 94. So square root of 94 should be what? 9 point something. 9 point what? 9.7 meter. Excellent. And that should be what? Our option what? Option D. D is the answer. Now let's go to number 3. I think we want to increase the skills of the what? Of the question. Now we want to increase the magnitude of the question. We are going to number 3 question now, and I want you to listen. Now the next thing is what? It said if two vector of magnitude 2 Newton, two vector of magnitude 2 Newton and 5 Newton are what? Acting at a point are inclined at an angle of 60 degrees to the what? To the resultant force. Now he said what? Are inclined at an angle of 60 degrees. The resultant force is dash. I say what? If two forces of magnitude 2 Newton and 5 Newton acting at a point are inclined at an angle of 60 degrees, what? They say what? The resultant force is what? Now, what we want to do now is, since the what? The first force is 2 Newton and the second force is for 5 Newton. They say they are inclined at an angle of what? So that means the one is what? 2 Newton will be down at the reference. The second one will be what? 60. Inclined at what? 60 degrees. So what I'm going to do now is I will take the first force as 0, which is the east. I will assume it's acting along the east, while the second force will be equal to what? 60 degrees. Now, having done that, please listen. What we're going to do now is to resolve them. That means the angle between them will be given to the second force, while the first force will be taken as 0 degree, which is the direction of that one. And all should be what? Measured what? Anti-clockwise from the positive x axis. So this one will 2 cos what? 0, 2 sin 0. Then we are going to have what? 5 what cos what? 60 and 5 sin 60. If you resolve it, your x will be what? Sine, and your cos, while your y will be what? Sine. So you are rotating anti-clockwise. Here will be 0, this will be 0, while here is taken as angle 60 degrees. So if you add them together, this is 2 plus 2.5 should be what? Should be 4.5. Press the calculator, then sin 0 is 0. This one is what? 0.86 is 0 times 5 times 5. 0.86 is what? 4.33. Excellent. So we have gotten our what? Listen, if you want to write it in vector form, the resultant can be written as 4.5 I plus what? 4.33J. Or sometimes we can even write it as 4.5x unit vector what? Along the x-axis. Then 4.33 unit vector along the y-axis can be written like that. Then what about this is vector? What about the magnitude of the resultant, which can be written as what? 4.5 all squared plus 4.33 all squared. So if you press the calculator, what do you have there? You are going to have what? Square root of what? 39. And when you take the square root of 39, what do you have? 6.2. Excellent. 6.2 meter. That should be our magnitude. But in case they not ask us for direction, we must, they didn't ask us. But direction should be equal to what? An inverse of what? The forces along the what? Or the distance along the y-axis over distance along the what? X-axis. So that is it. And if you check, because this one is positive and this is positive, it should be in the what? In the first quadrant. This is what? X is positive, y is what? Positive. So since both of them are positive, that means that this is the resultant, which is what? 6.2 here. And the direction should be this, which is equal to whatever we are going to get from here. And that will be what? Tan inverse of what? Y is 4.33 over what? 4.5. What do we get as our answer there? We do it 43.9. 43.9. Approximately what? Let's say 44 for instance. So if you get 44 here, for instance, 44 degree. So if I want to interpret now, somebody else can interpret as what? This is east, starting for it, and this is north. So I can write as what? East, 44 degree what? North. Or I can write it as what? You can balance this side. This means what? Remove this one from 90. What do you have? You have 50, 42 excellent. You need 46 Salah. So 46, you can write as not 46 degree what? Degree what? East. And if you want to now use off, you can write this one as what? 44 north of what? East. And we can write this one as what? 46 north, 46 degree or east of north, and so forth and so on. You can even say is what? 44 degree above the what? The positive x-axis. Positive x-axis. So many answers you can give to that. Let's go to number what? 4. We move to number 4. Please, I need to get something there. Sorry for those of you that are watching. Thank you very much. Sorry for that. Let's move to number 4. Number 4 said a boat. Number 4, sorry, what's number 4? Okay. A particle undergoes what? 3 consecutive displacement. 3 consecutive what? Displacement. 3 consecutive displacements. Sorry for what just happened. We just have to follow the questions one after the other. I'm very sorry for that. So the last options, you can choose your answer by yourself. After solving, you can choose your answer for yourself. I think the last one was about option what? That should be, the last one should be option, what do you have there? D. Okay, option D. That is option D is the last option. So you can take note of that. In fact, the following question was supposed to what? To find the angle and the force. So, but we have looked for that. Now the next one is what? The next one should be what? A particle undergoes what? 3 consecutive what? Displacement. The first one is what? What is the first D? D1 is what? 15I, yes. Plus what? Plus what, class? 12K. Then the D2 is what, class? 23I, excellent. Plus what? Okay, minus 34J. Then what? Minus 5K, excellent. Then D3 is what? Minus 13I plus what? 15J. Now, I haven't got it that they say we should find what? The resultant. So the resultant should be what? Displacement, which is dr, is what? D1 plus what? D2 plus what? D3. So how do we get that quickly? We add this and this together. That will give us 38. 38 minus what? 13 should give us what? 38 minus, should give us 25. 25. Then 36 minus 34 will give us 2. Plus what? 15 will give us what? Plus 17J. Is that not? Okay, this is 14J. This is 14J, are we? Okay, sorry for that. So 36 minus 14 is what? Is 22. 22 plus 15 give us what? 37. So then we don't have K here, so more or less, like, let's call it 0K. According to the question, there is no K. Don't forget, all are measured in what? Meter, because that is the unit of the SI unit of the what? Distance. So 12 minus 5 is 7, plus 0 is what? 7. Now, that will now give us what? This is the dr, the vector. So in that case now, I haven't gotten the what is the dr magnitude, which is what? Equivalent to gr, because the magnitude will absolutely kill out the arrow which direction. We should have what? 45 square, please, quickly. 37 square plus what? 7 square. You can also solve as you are solving along with your calculator. So what do you have now? Square root of 2043. 2043. Then what will be that? Where would that be? 45 point what? 45 point what? 2. I think we change this particular one. But if we don't change it, this one should be 30. We cannot have option because option A is left of option B is left of option. So because option A here is saying what? Minus 13I is saying what? Sorry, 20 meter B, 25 meter C, 30 meter D, 40 meter E, none of the above. So changing this value will alter everything. So this one should be 30 according to the question. I think I copied the wrong question. So 30 minus 14 will give us 16. I mean 16 plus what? 31. This one should be 31 so that we'll not be having something different. Okay, so that is just that. Then what is the answer for that now? That will give us what? 1635. Then what is the square root of 1365? 35. 40.4, which is approximately what? 40 meter. We have option, that should be what? Option D. We have option A is 20 meter, B 45 meter, C we have what? 30 meter, then 30 meter C, D 40 meter, E none of the above. So the answer is D. Let's go to number 5. Number 5 is the next question. It says, let's see. Number 5 says what? A boat says 3 kilometer east, then 5 kilometer what? Southeast, then further distance in an unknown direction. If the final position is 8 kilometer east of the starting point, determine the magnitude and direction of the third leg of the journey. They said what? They said a boat sails what? 3 kilometer east. 3 kilometer east. Now, if you want to look at the direction, normally, if I draw, this is east. East is what? 0 degree according to vector. Go and watch my how to convert BLE question to vector question to vector angle. This should be 0. So directly east is actually 0. So this one will be what? 3 what? Cos 0. Why here will be what? 3 sin 0. Is x component, the y component. Now what is the next one? He say that what? 5 kilo and then 5 kilometer southeast. 5 kilometer southeast. 5 kilometer southeast. Southeast should be what? This is east, this is north, this is west, this is what? South. Southeast is divide east and south equally. So here will be 45 and here will be 45. That is according to vector. But according to bearing. But vector say we should rotate what? Anti-clockwise. So you rotate it anti-clockwise until what? You get to that point, which is about what? Here is 90. Here is what? 90, 180, 270 plus 45 is what? 315 degree. So that will now give us what? That means this one will be what? 315 degree, the vector angle. At least 0 degree. So that's what we are going to use. We are going to add 5 cos what? 5 cos 315 degree. Then 5 sin what? 315. I told you y component will be sin, y s component will be cos. Because of what? If you are taking your angle from the what? From the east anti-clockwise, that is the rule. Then they said a further distance, then I said, and then a further distance in an unknown direction. So we don't know the distance now. Let's say the distance is what? 3 kilometer in a different direction of theta. A further distance in an unknown direction, theta degree. So which will now be resolved as what? P what? Cos theta. While here will now be P sin what? Theta. Now what we are going to do now is that you sum up this one together. We now what? Equal to what? A particular resultant. What is the resultant given to us in this question? They said what? If the final position 8 kilometer east of the starting point. Now, the final position is 8 kilometers of the starting point. Anytime you are referring to a particular final position, that means you are referring to a vector from the starting point. You are talking about the resultant. If I move from A to B, from B to C, then I say find the what resultant of what of this movement from the starting point. That means from C. That means the resultant of C from A. I'm talking about, or find the distance of C from A. That means that this will be the resultant of this movement from here to here and here to here. So that means if you check the arrow, the movement was from A to B, then from B to C, then I say find the what? The movement of C from the starting point. That means my arrow will start from A. It means that this is a what? If you check the two arrows, they are moving in the same direction, while this one is against it. So that means that anytime they are relating to final position from the starting point, it means that that is the resultant. The resultant is clearly given, my dear. So just go straight and put what? 8 kilometer east is what? 8 kilometer what? East is what? More or less like east is 0. You have 8 cos what? 0. Then 8 sin what? 0. Now, if you have gotten that very easy, this will now lead us to equation now. So what I'm going to do now is simply add this and this together, equated that to be this equation 1. And 3 cos 0 plus what? 3 cos 315 plus what? P cos theta equal to what? 8 cos 0. 8 cos 0 is what? 8. That is equation 1. Now, the second one, excuse me, is what? What will this one be? 3 plus what? 3 cos this one, 315 degree is what? Quickly. 5 what? 3 point what? Don't approximate please. 5 for 4. 3.5355, abi? Let's stop it like that. Then plus what? P cos theta is equal to 8. Let's add this up together and remove from 8. So that will now give us P cos theta is equal to what? 8 minus what? This one will give us 6.55. 6.5355. So yeah, subtract it for me. 1.4645. Equation 1. Let's call that one equation 1. Now, let me clean this up one now. I believe you've seen it. So let us get equation 2. Don't forget, this one is what? This 3 cos 0 and this 3 sin what? 0 now. So that's what we started with. So now, the next one is what? We now what? Add this together. 3 sin 0 plus what? 5 sin 315 plus what? Plus this P cos sin theta equal to what? The final. No, before we always have this. This is the first leg, second leg, and the third leg was not given. But this time I will always give us, in the previous question we have been solving, they will give us first, second, and third. We now find this one, then find the resultant. But in this particular question, they were not giving one of the leg, then we were giving the resultant. That's the difference between this one. So this one now be what? 8 sin 0. You must be very careful when solving. Don't be careless. So this one will now be what? 0 plus what? Then this one will give us what? Minus 3 point what? 5355. Excellent. Thank you very much. The P sin theta equal to what? 0. Abi? Okay, let's make P sin theta subject to formula. That will give us P sin theta equal to what? Let's move this one to the other side. We have 3.5355. Equation 2. Now, having gotten that, it makes our work, let me clean this, make our work very easy, smooth, and clear. Now, let's go. So, having gotten equation 1 and 2, let's divide equation 2 by 1, or divide 1 by 2 by 1. Yes, correct. So, this one like was what? P sin theta divide by what? P sin theta divide by what? P what? Cos theta. So that will give us what? P cos theta is equal to what? What is 3.5355? Divide by what? 1.4645. Is that clear? So this one we what? What we are going to have is tan theta is equal to what? Now what is the value of that? 2.4141. Then take tan inverse of that to get our theta first. 2.4141 will give us what? 67.5 degree. Which we what? Don't forget all our angle. This angle theta must start from the what? From the east. I hope you know. From the starting point. This because all our angle. You know, I say P kilometer theta degree. And the jet 315 is from the east anti-clockwise. Other one, the 0 degree is from the east. So this one should be from the east also. So that means this angle is measured from the east as what? As 67.5 degree. So what is now the P? Is the P we are looking for now. We have got theta. So to get P, just put what? Into this equation. So P will now be equal to what? 3.5355 divided by what? Sine. What is our theta? 67.5. So what will now be our answer? In kilometer. 3.83 kilometers. So that means this one is 3.83 kilometer. So our P is gotten, our direction is gotten. So our answer option A is 38.3 kilometer, 67.7 degree what? North of east. P says what? 38.3 kilometer, 67.5 degree north of east. C says 3.83 kilometer, 67.6 degree north of east. The last one say what? What is the last one? D says 383 kilometer, 67.4 north, 67.4 degree north of east. E said none of the above. If I'm to check this question and choose my answer, I will go for none of the above because that C is what 3.83 kilometer, 67.6 degree north of east. This one is 67.5. Understand now? You can check. But if none of the above is not there, I will go for C. So that is just that. So I will go for none of the above. Now the next one, number 6, says what? A vector of magnitude 1 that indicate direction are called dash. That is called a unit vector. A vector of magnitude 1. I told you I talk about some important type of vectors that we discuss in this class. And I talk one of the things I talk about was unit vector, which is we have the unit vector along the S to be I, along the Y is J, along the Z is K. Anytime you see a unit vector like this, I ask cap, it's unit vector. The unit vector is type of vector. If I have something like this is a vector. Anytime you indicate an arrow on a particular alphabet, it is a vector. But anytime you indicate a cap, like a kind of stroke like this, it is unit vector. And that indicates direction. So whenever you are talking about a unit vector is that vector that has a magnitude of 1 and indicates the direction to which we can move. So that is what unit vector. We have option A, orthogonal vector, B, dimensional vector, C, unit vector, D, position vector, E, none of the above. The answer to that question is position vector, which is option C. Now let's look at number 7. Number 7 says determine. I will leave this number 7 for you because we have solved similar question. So I want you to solve and send your answer to the comment section. Please, you must work. This is physics. And the more you are solving, the better you become. This one said, well, look at the question so that you can solve and send the answer to us in the comment section. It said, determine the magnitude of what? Of the resultant of two displacements. A. A is what? What is our A there, please? Last 3I plus 4J minus K. Then B is what? 5I minus 6J plus 3K. Excellent. All together I meet Abi. Now this is your question. Now what they say you find? Find what? Determine the magnitude of the what? Resultant of the two of them, A and B. And please add direction to it. Find direction for me also. Because this is a 3-dimensional vector. So I want you to solve for the direction. Solve for the direction for me and send your answer to the comment section. Let us look at number what? 8. He said an object moves what? 500 meter north, 500 meter north, 500 meter north. Don't forget this one can be interpreted north is shaped as 90 degree now. Yes, because if you are moving from the east anti-clockwise, north is 90, which is what? S and Y component will be gotten from there. Then the next one is what? What is the next one? He said what? And then 300 kilometer east. Find both the distance traveled and the magnitude of the displacement in kilometer. Find the distance traveled and the magnitude of displacement in kilometer. So that is 300 meter. What is the second one? East, abi? So east is 0 degree now. So we'll play with it. So this one that one 500 what? Sine cos 90. Then 500 what? Sine 90 now degree. Then this one that what? 300 cos what? 0 degree. Then 300 what? Sine what? 0 degree. Check the mic whether it's working. Thank God it's working. Now let's go. So resultant. What is resultant displacement? The resultant displacement is equal to what? It's equal to this cos 90 is 0. 0 times that is 0. Cos 0 is 0 times what? You have 300. Then sine 90 is 0 is 1. 1 times 500 is 500. Then sine 0 is 0 times what? You have 500 what? Meter. Meter. So what do we do to find the displacement? This is what? The resultant displacement dr in vector should be what? 300I plus 500 what? G. Don't forget. So but this displacement we are looking for first. So this one now will now be resultant displacement in magnitude will now be what? Square root of what? 300 square plus 500 what? Square. What do you have? Now we have what? 90000 into 4. 5025 then 0000. So what will now be our final answer? Square root of what? Or everything? 58 what? 3 meter. But if you want to this displacement, don't forget. But if you want to find, don't forget displacement is a vector. So you make use of both the magnitude and the direction. Because the displacement is both what? Magnitude and direction. That is a vector quantity that has magnitude and direction. So but when you are dealing with distance, distance is what? How do you add a scalar quantity together? To combine a scalar quantity together, you use what they call an algebraic rule. What is an algebraic rule? Algebraic rule is what? The summation of what? Individual scalar quantity given to you. Just do what they call scalar addition. Just do what they call proper addition of the two what? The 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or more of the scalar quantity without considering the direction, because a scalar quantity is a quantity that has magnitude but no direction, or no direction should not be considered, in other words. So in that case, I would have 300 meter plus 500 meter algebraically can be added to give us what? 800 meter. You can see that the distance is different from what? I can calculate the direction of displacement, but I cannot calculate the direction of distance because it does not have a direction. How do you calculate the direction? You can do that on your own by what? Solving it, complete the solution, and you what? You finish it up. That will give us what? If you at all want to complete it. What would that give us? 59 degree on the dot. 0 degree, that is 59 degree. And if I want to ask us in the house, or those watching this video, which quadrant will it fall? Because this one is plus, this one is plus. Which quadrant? First quadrant. So that will be here, that is 59 degrees. So which you can interpret it as what? No, is 59 degree what? North, or 59 degree what? North of east. You can interpret it as what? There is will now be what? 31. Abi? If you remove it from 90, 59. So that will now be what? Not 31 degree what? East, or what we call what? 31 degree what? East of north. of north, and so forth and so on. You can even say 59 degree above the what? The positive what? Above what? Positive x what? Axis, and so forth and so on. As you can see, we have gotten the answer. Let's solve the last part of this question for this section, part 1. Okay, so let's see this one. I say a man drove what? His car. A man drove his car where? Northeast. Okay, let's see the question. The last one for this section. They say what? A man drove his car northwest. The man drove his car northwest. Northwest. Huh? For a distance of what? 5 kilometer. So 5 kilometer northwest. Northwest is what? What is northwest? Northwest, this east, this north, this west. Northwest, divide north and west equally 45, 45. But I say that all our vector angles should measure where? So if you rotate this one to touch, what will the angle be? From here is 90, this is what? 135. So this 135. So if you want to resolve the x and y component, what do you have? You have what? 5 cos what? 135, 5 sin 135. What do you have next one? You said what? And then east for what? 20 kilometer, and then east for 20 kilometer. East. He drove east for 20 kilometer. That will give us what? That will, east is what? 0 degree. We have said that severally. So 20 cos 0. Then the other one 20 sin what? 0. Yes. Last one, he said what? And it turns what? South for 300 kilometer. That means 300, is it 300 kilometer or 30? 30 kilometer south. It turns south and then turns south for 30 what? Kilometer. Calculate the what? The overall displacement from the what? From the starting point. That is the resultant. A 62.3 kilometer. B 20.7 kilometer. C 31.7 kilometer. D 36.2 kilometer. E none of the above. Now let's solve quickly. South is what? This is south, and south should be what? 270 degree from the what? From the east, 270 degree. So south will be 270 degree. Let's resolve. You can solve alongside if you know what you are doing now. 270 degree, then 30 sin what? 270 degree. Let's solve. Let's add them together quickly, which is the last question for this section. So the resultant will now be what? Let's solve it. Yes. 16.464. 16.464 what? Kilometer. Then the second one is what? Minus 26.464 kilometer. Now if you check this very well, you check this very well, you are going to discover that our resultant displacement dr equals to what? 16.464 I minus what? 26.464 j. That is the vector form. But if you check the question critically well, they told us that we should find our what? Our answer in what? In magnitude. Abi, find the overall displacement from this other. So to find the overall displacement, we have to what? According to the option, they give us the magnitude. But let's solve the what? Both the magnitude and direction. Now, what do we have now? Quickly, 64.464 all squared will give us what? Plus what? Minus 26.464 square. So that will give us what? Overall will give us what? Then after that, we look at what? Direction, which is not an inverse of what? 26.464 divided by 16.464. So what would that give us? The first one is 31.2 kilometer, which is the magnitude. And if you check the option from there, I think that should be option B. Option C rather. 31.2 option C. Let's look for the direction. Now the direction should be what? Somewhere here. Look at the board. This one will be what? This is minus. Y is minus. S is what? Plus. Which quadrant is that one? Fourth quadrant. Interesting. This is plus and this is minus. So this one is theta, my dear. Very interesting. Vector is very sweet oh. You just need to what? To understand the concept. So this one will give us what? What will give us? Weekly, 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 weekly. And as you are watching, please subscribe. Just click the like button as you are watching me. So if you really love this man and you know you are enjoying this lab, just man, just just click it, man. It's okay. Then if you have not subscribed, what are you doing? What are you waiting for? Just subscribe to this lovely video and so that we can do more in your seminar and you can enjoy more of our video. Thank you very much. I hope you are, I know you are doing it as I'm talking to you. Now let's continue. Yes, 58.11 degree. Excellent. So this is what 58, let's say 58 degree. That will now be oh yeah, interpret this thing for me. This is east and this is south. What will you is resting or is lying on the what? On the east. So that will give us east 58 point what? Point 58 degree what? South, or you can make it lie on the south by removing 58 from 90. That will give us what? 32. Abi? So that can give us what? South 32 degree what? East. My dear, you can still introduce up. Now, what are you waiting for? That will give us 58.1, 58 degrees south of east, or 32 degree what? East of what? South. You can go extra mile to find the what? This particular one. Go and check my video. You can balance this place, which will be equal to this one, and balance this place and interpret. That we cannot do this here. We can also say this is what? 58 degree below the what? Positive S axis. No, we have been talking about above. This is one of the below answer. See, when we shall say again next time, same word, channel. Remain blessed and enjoy your work, your time. Thank you very much. God bless you.